IHSAA, it is our intent to conduct all athletic events. Spectators in all such activities, please help make this contest one we can all be proud of by promoting your team in a positive manner. Your cooperation is appreciated. At this time, would everyone please stand and hear back the sing of our national anthem. Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, came through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hello and welcome to South Putnam High School in Greencastle, Indiana, where the road to the state championship begins. My name is Lec Zorn and I'll be bringing you all the action as your Cascade Cadets challenge the North Putnam Cougars in the sectional quarterfinal round of the Indiana Boys High School Basketball Tournament. Well, coming off a 14-9 season, one of the best records in school history, Cascade got off to a slow start as they struggled to replace last season's two double-figure scoring seniors, Evan Birch and Alec Alderson. After opening the season 5-10, the Cadets recovered to win 5 of their next 6 games, pulling within 1 game of 500 going into last Tuesday's regular season finale as Cascade hosted Covenant Christian on Senior Day. The Cadets had a 45-43 lead with 2.9 seconds left as Sam Fulbright missed the second of 2 free throws, but despite 6'6" Benson Walker and 6'5" Dalton DuBois in the game, the shot went out of bounds to Covenant Christian. Jordan Webb, who briefly left the game with an apparent foot or ankle injury just a few minutes earlier, inbounded the ball to Gusky Kaba, who passed back to Webb for a three-pointer at the buzzer, which gave Covenant Christian a 46-45 win. Tonight, Cascade at 10-12 begins tournament play against 8-15 North Putnam, a program that's mostly struggled in recent years but appears to be moving back in the right direction. The two teams played twice during the regular season, with the Cadets winning both times, 53-49 back on December 22nd at Cascade and 55-47 on January 26th at North Putnam. Cascade is led by 6'5" senior Dalton DuBois, who averages 19 points and 6.6 rebounds per game while shooting 54% from the field. 5'8" senior Michael Alderson runs the offense and averages 6.4 points and a team-high 3.6 assists per game. 6' senior Chase Western averages 4.8 points per game. 6'6" senior Benson Walker averages 4.6 points and 3.6 rebounds per game. And possibly the most eye-catching cadet in the last few games has been 6' senior Mason Tharp, who's come on strong and moved into the starting lineup, averaging 4.9 points per game, and he scored in double figures in 4 of his last 7. Meanwhile, North Putnam is led by 6'3" senior Elliott Gross, who averages team highs of 16 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 1.8 steals per game. 3 other Cougars average double figures or close to it. 6'6" junior Andrew Pickle averages 11.9 points per game. 5'11" senior Caleb Duncan, 10.6 points per game. And 5'10" senior Trayton Smith, 9.1 points per game. And the starting lineup is rounded out by 5'9" junior James Duncan with 5 points a game. And now for the starting lineup, we have for the tip-off, we have 6'5" Dalton DuBois against 6'6" Andrew Pickle. Hi. All right, we just reconnected. So anyway, after I got disconnected here, we're in the boondocks out here in Putnam County. So anyway, I apologize for that disconnection. Hopefully there won't be any more. It does happen sometimes in these more remote areas. But anyway, Cascade, you didn't miss much. We're just a minute into the game. Cascade has a 4-0 lead. So anyway, back to action here. The Cadets said very important that they get off to a good start and not have to play from behind. Although the Cougars, just cut it to 1 there on a 3-pointer by 5'11" senior Caleb Duncan. However, the Cadets come down and get a 3-pointer of their own. So it's a 7-3 lead, so Cascade pushes the lead back up to 4. And now we've got a travel against North Putnam, so anyway, I will be watching my phone to make sure it doesn't get disconnected. The Cadets obviously now Alderson coming off a pick from Du Bois, pitches over to Tharp on the right perimeter, now back to Du Bois. He posts up on Pickle, pitches over to a wide open Western for 3 from the corner, and he hits it. So Cascade barely 2 minutes into the game. Well, they counted it as a 2, but nevertheless. Okay, back again. I got disconnected for the second time tonight. Hopefully it won't keep happening. If it does, I might try to find another place in the gym. But anyway, Cascade has a 10-3 lead here. This is the first round of the playoffs. Last year, if I remember correctly, in the game right here at South Putnam against Monrovia, I don't think I got disconnected at all. So anyway, hopefully the connection will keep going. I've only had one broadcast in my life in which I had to reconnect more than a couple of times. Now we got a free throw from the free throw lane jumper. No good there by Trayton Smith. So Cascade has the ball. Okay, and that shot by Western was ruled a 3 after all, so it's a 10-3 Cascade lead. Now a turnaround jumper by Du Bois, out of bounds, no good to North Putnam. Du Bois wanted a foul, didn't get one. 4:30 to go here in the first quarter. Cascade leading 10-3. The winner of this game to play Covenant Christian on Friday night. Covenant Christian was Cascade's last opponent on senior day a week ago tonight. And now a hook shot there is good by Pickle. And that cuts the lead to 10-5. North Putnam trying to stay, to keep this one from slipping away early, but another 3 from the corner is good by Western. So Chase Western on fire. He's hit 2 threes in a row now, and it's a 13-5 Cascade lead. And I'll tell you, it's great that Cascade has this lead early on. Now a 3-pointer from Pickle, no good. Rebound, and now we got a foul on the rebound. I think it's going to go against Caleb Duncan. I think he bumped into Du Bois. But we will see what happens here. So Du Bois brings it up here. Over to Western. Back to Du Bois there near the right corner. He drives to the basket, puts it up. Looked like he was trying to draw foul, didn't get it. Pickle the rebound, gives it up to Trayton Smith. He gives it over to Caleb Duncan there. Takes to the baseline, now takes it out beyond the 3-point line, inside to Pickle, and we got a foul there with 3:28 to go. Now got a couple of substitutions. We have Ross Stevenson and Vincent Walker coming in for Dalton DuBois and Chase Western. Now a long three, no good there by James Duncan, and Phillips brings it up over to Tharp and back to Phillips, coming off a pick by Stevenson inside to Walker, posts up, turns around, left-handed hook, he hits it. So Cascade goes up not even 5 minutes into the game. Cascade goes up by 10 points, so very good start to the Cadets. Definitely a game that they did not want to go down early and have to play catch-up. You know, that loss against against Covenant Christian a week ago tonight, a game in which, in the immortal words of Jim Mora, in his playoffs post-game tirade when he was still at the Colts, as he said there, we gave him the friggin' game. That's what Cascade did to Covenant Christian a week ago tonight. And I went home, all the way home, I couldn't stop being angry about it, and I was thinking, my God, I feel this sick about it, and I'm a commentator. You know, I'm glad I didn't go into coaching, because this, if I were a coach, games like this would do me in. And so, but then I read the flyer to see what Coach DuBois said about it, and he said that he felt a little lucky to lose because he thought it would get his team to focus more. And now he got a steal there by Tharp, brings it down, pitches over to Alderson for three. He hit it, and we're up by 13. Cascade playing like they think they can win this sectional. Might be a long shot to beat Cloverdale. We're going to talk more about the potential matchups at halftime. Now a three-pointer by Caleb Duncan, no good. Stevenson the rebound, gives it up to Phillips now. Over to Tharp, back to Phillips, coming off a pick by Stevenson, over to Alderson now. He's looking for a man, and we got a foul there against a foul away from the ball against Phillips. His first, team second. 2:22 to go here in the first quarter. Cascade off to a red-hot start. They lead 18-5. But, yeah, Coach DuBois said that, you know, he felt a little lucky to lose that Covenant Christian game because he thought it would get his team to focus better. So we'll see if that's what ends up happening or not. Hopefully it will. And now we got a foul then. I think it's going to be a reach in there against Tharp. 2:14 to go here in the first quarter. Coming to you live from South Putnam High School in Greencastle, Indiana. To James Duncan, the 5'9" junior. Now inside to Gross. His shot is blocked there, I believe, by Walker. Alderson brings it up. Under 2 minutes to go in the quarter now. Gives it down to Walker. Turns around to Hook. He hits it. So Vincent Walker, 4 points here in the first quarter. And it's a 20-5 Cascade lead. And now we got a whistle here. Now Phillips and DuBois back into the game for Cascade. Alderson and Stevenson sitting down with 1:41 to go. Cascade with a 20-5 lead. Colin McCart, head coach at Greencastle, very active on the bench, very fired up, trying to keep his team in the game. This is the kind of game that can slip away early if you're not careful. Now a three-pointer there by Gross, and he falls down, and it looked to me like he, was really exaggerating the fall, but nevertheless he will be going to the line for 3 free throws, and North Putnam needs any easy points it can get right now. 1:26 to go here in the first quarter. Cascade hoping to be out here 3 times this week. For the last time being Saturday night for the sectional championship. Second or so, he hits the first 2. And third one, he is no good. Rebound by Du Bois, so it's a 27 Cascade lead, 1:23 to go here in the first quarter. Coming at you live on audiosportsonline.com, and Du Bois drives to the basket, and there's a foul. I think it was before the shot. It's going to be on Pickle, his first, team second. 4 fouls against Cascade. So now, sloppy pass though. However, it was nearly stolen, but knocked out of bounds to Cascade. Good effort, however, by the Cougars. North Putnam is located on US 36 in the small town of Roachdale. I wonder if they're the butt of a lot of jokes for having Roach in their name. But anyway, pass inside to Du Bois, and he lays it in. Looked like he was trying to draw the contact, didn't get it, but he did get the field goal. And it's a 22-7 game. So now Caleb Duncan at the other end. And you can see the urgency in North Putnam now as they feel this one slipping away already. We got a foul under the basket with 1:04 to go. Cascade with a 22-7 lead. North Putnam jump ball possession arrow favors North Putnam. Pass into Caleb Duncan, now over to Elliott Gross. Inside to Pickle, turnaround, hook shot, no good, but he's fouled by Walker. Only two seniors on this North Putnam team. 3, excuse me. Gross, Duncan, and Smith. Everyone else is a junior. So the Cougars should, be a little better next season, returning all these guys who are accustomed to playing together. As Pickle hits the first one. 5 fouls on Cascade already. 55.5 seconds to go in the first quarter. So he hit them both. Dalton Du Bois was 0 for, even though he scored 23 points on his senior day, he was 0 for 6 from the line, which was a big factor in Cascade losing that game. North Putnam, if nothing else, is hitting their free throws so far. And they're probably going to have to if they're going to have any chance to win this. Now, Du Bois, 38 seconds to go. Left-handed hook. He hits it. And then, pumps his left fist in triumph. 24-19. So Cascade tying their highest lead of the game with 15. 25 seconds to go now. And now he inside to Pickle. He lays it in easily. And now near steal on the inbounds pass, but it's knocked out of bounds to Cascade. 15.4 seconds to go. So North Putnam finally getting it together on offense, but they're not doing anything to Cascade to stop Cascade on offense. So the Cadets still are maintaining a solid double-figure lead. 24-11 now. 15.4 seconds to go. And now passing down to Du Bois, who takes it all the way in, puts it up. He's fouled and he hits it by Pickle, and Pickle, he just shook his head like he just couldn't believe it. North Putnam was slow in getting down, and Du Bois took advantage of it, and Pickle tried to make the stop but didn't succeed. And that's Pickle's second, by the way. He's the team's second leading scorer. They're going to have to, and at 6'6", he's a very important presence inside, so he sits down now. If he gets in foul trouble, the Cougars are in big trouble. Free throw in and out. 26-11 now. So Caleb Duncan now with the ball. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Gives it to Gross, drives the baseline, puts it up. No good. Du Bois the rebound, and that's it. So, after 1 quarter of play, your Cascade Cadets brought their A game. They lead the North Putnam Cougars by a score of 26-11 here on audiosportsonline.com. My name is Lec Zorn. This is our second season of bringing you Cascade basketball here on audiosportsonline.com. Last season, our first season with Cascade, the boys and the girls each had two of their, the boys and girls each had one of their best teams in school history. The girls winning 17 games in the regular season, boys winning 14. But each team lost its first tournament game. This year, the girls weren't quite as good, winning 10 regular season games, but they did win 2 tournament games, advancing to the sectional championship where they lost to South Putnam. Meanwhile, the boys look like they're on their way to a victory tonight. So it'll be great that, to have both teams getting a postseason win this year. Hopefully the boys will also get a win against Covenant Christian on Friday night to redeem themselves from blowing the game last Tuesday on Senior Day, and then that will likely set up a match with Cloverdale. Not necessarily. There are 3 other teams. It could also be Monrovia or South Putnam, but we'll see. But Cloverdale does feature the leading scorer in the state in 5'9" senior, swift penetrating, sharp shooting guard Jalen Moore, who still, last I checked, has a realistic shot to set the all-time single-season scoring record in Indiana history. He's on his way to play for Utah State University. So now inside to Du Bois. He puts it off the glass and in, so it's a 17-point Cascade lead. North Putnam already in big trouble, barely a fourth of the way into this game, and now we got a collision there as Trayton Smith was bringing the ball down. By the way, I forgot to mention in the post-game, I ran out of time actually, Cascade's head coach is Chris Du Bois, who's 125 and 185 in his 14th season with the Cadets. He's won 2 of the 6 sectional championships in school history. North Putnam's head coach is Colin McCart, who's 29 and 64 in his 4th season with the Cougars, and 114 and 151 in his 12th season overall. He was previously the head coach for 1 season at Morton Memorial, 4 at Prairie Heights, and 3 at Morgan Township, winning a sectional championship with each of the latter 2 schools. Now we've got Trayton Smith on the line. He misses his first. He was fouled in the act of shooting. That was the 7th foul against Cascade. So North Putnam is in the bonus now very early, just 33 seconds into the second quarter. So Smith misses them both. Du Bois rebounds with authority. He gives it to Alderson now and now inside the alley-oop is good to Du Bois, who's really getting into it now, and it's a 19-point lead, and Cascade takes a timeout. 7:12 to go here in the second quarter. Coach McCart all fired up, very, very animated on the sidelines. This is Cascade beat North Putnam twice during the regular season, but not by huge margins, by 4 and 13. So and this is a massacre so far. And from a Cascade standpoint, what I really want to see right now is for Cascade to really put this one away, get all the starters on the bench by the middle of the third quarter, and just rest. Go home, get a good night's sleep tonight, and then spend the next 2 days just thinking about Covenant Christian and redeeming yourself for that game a week ago tonight. Especially because since it'll be your 3rd game, if you make it to the sectional championship, it'll be your 3rd game of the week. You got to make sure you got something in the tank against, if we go against Cloverdale, or whoever. You want to have something in the tank for whoever we go against, but especially Cloverdale, who has the leading scorer in the state. And they beat us by 30 in the regular season, too. So now Caleb Duncan over to Trayton Smith now. Coming off a pick there. And now drives over. Now pitches over to Caleb Duncan for 3, and he hit it, making it 30-14. Cascade still with a 16-point lead. Now, I was covering a game at Cloverdale, a girls' game at Cloverdale, back on January 18th, in which Cascade was down in the second quarter 30-12. Came back to win the game in double overtime. Now, underhanded shot, no good there by Tharp. Now Gross comes away with it, gives it over to Caleb Duncan has it near midcourt. Pitches over to Gross, fakes a 3, takes it inside, spins around, puts it up over Du Bois, no good. Du Bois the rebound, and now there's a foul here. Du Bois collided there under the basket with Evan Davies, a 6'4" junior, who will be heavily counted upon next season. After they lose the 6'3" Elliott Gross. So next season they should have quite a twin tower combination with Andrew Pickle and Evan Davies, 6'6" and 6'4". And now Du Bois lays it in, and it's an 18-point lead, 5:45 to go. So far, despite having very good size, probably one of the bigger teams Cascade's played against all season, North Putnam has had no answers for Dalton Du Bois inside at all. Now a three-pointer there, no good by Duncan. Du Bois the rebound, he slips, and he's slow to get back up, but he does get up on his own power and rejoins his team at the other end of the court. Alderson drives and hits it, and it's a 20-point Cascade lead. North Putnam doesn't know what hit him, so Caleb Duncan brings it up for the Cougars. So anyway, Duncan with the ball now, guarded by Tharp, drives to the lane, pitches out to a wide open Gross. Three-pointer in and out, rebound Du Bois, and there's a foul there. Duncan was going super hard after. It is a very aggressive move there by the 5'11" Duncan to try to wrestle the ball from the 6'5" Du Bois. And now you can see the desperation already on the part of North Putnam there as Du Bois sits down and Benson Walker comes in. Benson Walker is going to be the go-to guy in the middle for Cascade next season after Du Bois graduates and moves on to college ball. Still waiting for announcements from Du Bois, as well as on the girls' side, Amelia Bryant, Olivia Bryant, and Hannah Rasnick as to where they're going to play college ball. Three cadet seniors from last season are playing college ball now. On the boys' side, Evan Birch at Franklin. On the girls' side, Bailey Walker at Franklin and Michaela Collier at Goshen. Now a foul on James Duncan for his first team sixth. So Cascade one away from getting into the bonus now. And now we got a whistle on the other end. It's going to be on Cascade. That's Ross Stevenson, his second. Stevenson was injured early in the Covenant Christian game, didn't return. And his absence certainly hurt us in our loss. Despite only being 5'11" and having only modest statistics, he is a very strong presence inside. And I really admire him. I mean, I'm 5'10", only an inch shorter than he is. And I can only imagine the injuries I'd be subjecting myself to if I were to go and play inside like he does. It does help that he's built like a football player. I mean, I weigh about 150. He looks like he weighs about 175, 180 or so. I mean, he's good pick-setting size. So anyway, Cascade with the ball now, and now coming off a pick by Du Bois. Three-pointer there by Justin Hurst, no good. Rebound there. It's controlled there by Caleb Duncan. He brings it down, fakes a three. Down to Gross at the baseline, pitches over to Pickle, who lays it in. Much-needed points for the Cougars. They're still trailing by 18, however, less than half of this second quarter to play now. So now Western has the ball, and we got a timeout here. Cascade takes the timeout, full timeout, with 3:45 to go here in the second quarter. I'll tell you, Cascade has played better. North Putnam, after hardly getting anything on offense in the first quarter, they've gotten fairly settled on offense, but the problem is they've done nothing to stop Cascade from continuing its onslaught. So the lead has stayed well into double figures for the Cadets. And definitely, the earlier you put away this game, the better. Looks like somewhere probably around 700-800 fans here already at the gym in Cloverdale. 6:25 your time of day. We already see a lot of green for Cloverdale. They seat 2,200 in this gym, about the size of Cascade's. All right, well, back here at Cascade back here at Greencastle at South Putnam High School just got disconnected, reconnected again. Third time I've had to call back. Hopefully the last time I'll have to call back today. But anyway, we are out here in the boondocks, and sometimes the indoor places, you just don't have a real good spot to pick up anything, to pick up a signal, so I'll do the best I can. Elliot Gross no good on the free throw. So it's still a 16-point Cascade lead, so you did not miss any scoring while you were gone. Now Alderson coming up a pick by Du Bois, gives it up to Western. He dribbles now, pitches back out to Alderson. 3:02 to go in the second quarter. Cascade leading by 16. Alderson drives into the lane, pitches, it's deflected away. Western gets it, puts it up, no good for three. Du Bois the rebound, puts it up, stripped away by Gross. He takes it down all the way himself, puts it up, and he's fouled, and he'll go to the line for two. And that puts North Putnam in the double bonus. I apologize for continually referring to North Putnam as South Putnam. We are at South Putnam High School, and I've commentated 4 South Putnam games this season, 3 for the girls, 1 for the boys. In contrast, this is my first North Putnam game this season that I've commentated. First free throw no good by Gross. He's the team's leading scorer with 16 a game. A 6'3" senior, he should be playing college ball next year, but so far hasn't done much here in what very well could be his final high school game. Hits second one, 34-19. Now, Tharp coming up a pick by Du Bois, pitches over to Alderson. Now Alderson at the left perimeter dribbles, gets into the lane, pitches out to, and now they got a charge there against Alderson. So I think Alderson, looked like he might have hurt himself there on that charge. Anyway, Pickle will be inbounding the ball. 2:30 to go now here and that's the first on Alderson, by the way. I was just waving to a little kid there. So now Caleb Duncan inside to Gross, pitches out to James Duncan for 3. No good. A rebound there by, Trayton Smith gets it, puts it up, trying to draw the foul, no good. Gross puts it up, no good. Now struggle for the loose ball. Tharp gets a 2-on-1 fast break. He pitches down to Du Bois, but I think they got him for, there's a travel. So 2:04 to go here. North Putnam trying to keep this one from slipping away. They trail by 19 to Cascade, 34-19 here in the second quarter. This is the first game of the South Putnam sectional. So now, three-pointer by Duncan, no good. Rebound there by Du Bois, gives it up to Alderson. Now Du Bois down at the baseline, posts up, pitches back out to Western for 3, no good. Rebound by Tharp, and he brings it back out. 1:17 to go. Cascade with the ball and a 15-point lead, and the Cadets take a timeout. I like this timeout here. I think the coach is just going to tell the kids, that not have any letdowns the rest of the half. Don't let them, get a couple of baskets and pull within 10 or so. Let's take this commanding lead into the locker room and then just go in for the kill in the third quarter. 1:15 to go now in the second quarter. Cascade leading 34-19. The Cadets opened up a double-figure lead just about 5 minutes into the game and have just never let up. North Putnam has improved offensively, but Cascade has not had an offensive letdown, so they've maintained a double-figure lead throughout the quarter. Dalton Du Bois particularly being dominant. Alderson with the ball. Over to Tharp. Down to the baseline to Du Bois, and they got him for a charge. Let's see. That's his second. So Du Bois likely will sit down for and Du Bois is talking to the official, not heatedly, but he looks like he disagrees with the call. He sits down. Vincent Walker comes back in. Walker, the tallest player on the team at 6'6". So now, Caleb Duncan over to Trayton Smith now, over to Caleb Duncan. Cadets in a 2-3 zone, 48 seconds to go now. James Duncan for three, no good, and it goes out of bounds to Cascade, 42.5 seconds to go in the second quarter. 6:32 your time of day. The Cadets look like they're on their way to an easy win. Don't want to count your chickens before they hatch. You know, we've done that painfully a few times over the years, but the Cadets keep doing what they're doing, they'll be fine. So now Alderson brings it up, pitches, and now knocked out of bounds to Cascade, 34.7 seconds to go. Cascade, I would say hold for the last shot unless they just get something wide open. No, don't give North Putnam a chance to go into the locker room with anything less than a 15-point deficit. But now the inbounds pass is stolen, and Caleb Duncan brings it down, and he's fouled. Nice effort there by Tharp. He hurried down to try to block the shot, but he committed the foul with 30.1 seconds to go. But yeah, I was about to say, don't let North Putnam have a chance to go into the locker room with anything less than a 15-point deficit. Now they do have that chance as Caleb Duncan steps to the line. His first free throw is good. Cuts the lead to 14. Second one is good. Lead deficit down to 13. So now Chris Murray coming in for Caleb Duncan, and Evan Davies coming in for Andrew Pickle. So now Michael Alderson with the ball, brings it down to the other end. 20 seconds to go now in the first quarter here at South Putnam. Looks like Cascade will wisely hold for the last shot. Now coming up a pick by Walker. Alderson with the ball. Has a hard time getting open though. Gives it over up to, and now it's tipped away. And a half-court shot by Gross on a steal. Oh, he almost hit it. Bounces away just a few inches too far to the right. But anyway, nevertheless, overall, a very good first half by your Cascade Cadets. They lead the North Putnam Cougars 34-21 here in the quarterfinal round of the South Putnam sectional. Here on AudioSportsOnline.com. I'm going to take a short break here. I'm going to go down to the scores table and get the point totals per player. Normally, I keep track of that myself, but I got distracted reconnecting a few times in the first quarter tonight. So anyway, I will be back in about 2 minutes or so, and I'll talk more about the first half, and as well as take a look at the bracket here. So anyway, once again, your score here at halftime. Cascade looks like they very well could be on their way to winning their first tournament game. They lead North Putnam by a score of 34-12 here on AudioSportsOnline.com.
but we talked about this Saturday morning before the start, that a lot of times number of games where they haven't had a break.
Okay, welcome back here to South Putnam High School in Greencastle, Indiana. My name is Lec Zorn, bringing you all the action. We're at halftime here in this first sectional game between your Cascade Cadets and the North Putnam Eagles. Cascade is now leading by a score of 34-21. I got disconnected at the half, but hey, that's the time to do it, so you didn't miss any of the action. Anyway, Cascade came out swinging with a barrage of with a barrage of offense both inside and outside that North Putnam had no answers for. Chase Western drained a couple of early threes, and then Dalton Du Bois was completely dominant on the inside. And even though North Putnam finally got its offense together starting late in the first quarter, Cascade never let up, and the Cadets had a So anyway, okay, I just got just reconnected again. Hopefully it won't have. Hopefully I'll go the rest of the game without having to do it. But anyway, so what I was starting to say, Cascade, they came out swinging with a lethal inside-outside combination of three-pointers and strong, easy baskets from Dalton Du Bois and to a lesser extent Benson Walker, and held a double-figure lead since about the middle of the first quarter on. They lead by 13 now at the half, 34-21 over North Putnam. We'll look at the individual scoring. First of all, for Cascade, Dalton Du Bois leads the way with 17, followed by Michael Alderson with 7, Chase Western with 6, and Benson Walker with 4. Meanwhile, for North Putnam, James Duncan has 8, Andrew Pickle has 8, and Elliot Gross has 5. So, anyway, I was starting so I had to cut into my planned halftime stuff because I was busy reconnecting. But anyway, I'll try to give you the I'll give you the bracket at the post game. So Elliot Gross now with the ball, pitches over now. James Duncan with the ball, and we got a travel there. So North Putnam, I think 13 was actually the slimmest margin that Cascade had. The slimmest margin of lead they had there in the first quarter. So Alderson now bringing it up over to Phillips, back to Alderson. Now down on the baseline to Tharp, over to Alderson. Cascade, obviously with a 13-point lead, can afford to take its sweet time. Fans keep filing in now. Looks like we got a lot of Cloverdale and Monrovia fans coming in. Both teams wear green, so we should have a sea of green here tonight. And so now, three-pointer from the corner by Western is no good, and it's tipped. Du Bois went after it, but it was tipped over to Trayton Smith. Now down at the baseline to Gross, takes it up. Reverse layup, no good. But put back up by Pickle, no good. And out of bounds to Cascade, 6:47 to go. No score here yet in the second half. We're coming to you live at South Putnam High School here in Greencastle, Indiana. We're just 15 miles down the road from Cascade. Both of these schools located on US 40, just 15 miles apart. South Putnam at the intersection of US 40 and US 231. So Tharp with the ball. Pitches over to Alderson at the top of the key. Fakes a three. Back over to Tharp at the right perimeter. Pitches back over to Alderson. Now dribbles back near midcourt. Now over to Phillips. Now Western tries to set a pick. Now Phillips over to Western. Now down over at the left perimeter to Tharp. Drives to the basket. Puts it up. It's blocked. Caleb Duncan comes away with it, but it's knocked away out of bounds to Cascade with 5:58 to go here in the third quarter. Cascade leading 34-21. The Cadets came to play tonight. Last season, 14 wins, one of the best seasons in school history. Lost their first tournament game to Monrovia, however. Now a three-pointer by Tharp. No good. Rebound by Caleb Duncan. Gives it up to Elliot Gross. Takes it all the way down himself. Puts it up off the glass over Du Bois. And he hit it. Gross now with 7. He averages 16. They're probably going to need a very big second half if they're going to have a chance to come back and win it. And that does cut it to 11. So they're still within relative striking distance now. Western with the ball over to Tharp. Now inside to Du Bois, alley-oop, and he lays it in, and there's a foul. I think it was after the shot, but let's see. Okay, it's going to be on Gross, his third, and that's a big sign of concern for South Putnam, or North Putnam, excuse me. So now Du Bois with 19, he goes to the free throw line. So poor free throw shooting continuing to plague Dalton Du Bois. He was 0 for 6 last week. Last game against Covenant Christian, I believe he's 0 for 2 tonight. But he does lead the way with 19 points. Now we got a foul on the other end against Cascade, who have a 13-point lead. Coming on, that one's on Western, his second. It's the team's first of the half. So now Caleb Duncan with the ball. North Putnam, and now a long three there by Caleb Duncan. No good. Rebounded by Phillips. Gives it to Tharp. Now it down to Western at the other end. Fakes a three. Drives to the basket. Puts it up, and he's fouled. Very aggressive move by Chase Western, who's hoping this will not be. And now it looks like he's hurt. No, he looks like he's got some pain in his left knee. I hope it is not serious. Western doesn't put up a whole lot of statistics. He averages just under 5 points a game. but he's certainly a really strong presence for the Cadets. Not only, and his first free throw no good after about 4 bounces, maybe 5, but he's a very strong presence in the athletic department. You know, he's a good plugger for both the basketball and football teams. Wide receiver in football. He had a touchdown in our tournament loss to Western Boone last season. So Western 1 of 2 for the line on that trip down court. He's staying in the game. So that's a good sign his injury wasn't as bad as it looked at first. And I know sometimes players, they have a sudden sharp shot of pain. And it turns out not to be so bad. So now James Duncan over to Gross. Now over to Smith. To Gross, back to Smith there at the right perimeter. 4:13 to go here in the third quarter. Cascade up by 14 here in the first sectional game. Now Gross tries to the basket, no good. Puts it back up and in, however. And he has 9. Cuts the lead to 12. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. So now Alderson brings it up. Now wide open for a 3 by Tharp, no good. And it's rebounded by Davies. He gives it up now to Trajan Smith over a double team. Pitches across court to Gross now. And Gross takes it all the way himself and lays it in. And I think this is time for a timeout. The lead's down to 10. Elliot Gross looks like he's trying to take the game over. Only 5 points in the first half. He already has 6 points now in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. And yes, they do take that timeout. The Cadets still with a double-figure lead, but it's been cut now down to 10. It was as high, I believe, as 19. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was 30 to 11. And I remember the similarity to Cascade trailing, the Cascade girls trailing at Cloverdale 30 to 12, and then coming back to win back on January the 18th of this year. A game in which I lost both my voice and my mind. And so anyway, for those of you just joining us, we are coming to you live from South Putnam High School in Greencastle, Indiana. This is the quarterfinal round of the sectional of the Indiana Boys High School Basketball Tournament. My name is Lec Zorn, the voice of Cascade Sports. Cascade is led by double figures since about midway through the first quarter on. However, now this is their slimmest lead since then. It's down to exactly 10. It's been as high as 19. Elliot Gross, the leading scorer on the season for the Cougars, starting to take the game over in the third quarter. So it's a good time out there by the Cadets. So Tharp pitches in now to Phillips. 3:20 to go here in the third quarter. Now over to Alderson. Alderson with the ball now, guarded by Smith. Now down at the baseline to Tharp, inside to Walker. It's tipped away, stolen by Smith. He brings it down, puts it up, and he's fouled, and he'll be going to the line. So North Putnam a chance to cut it to single figures. Well, when we had that 19-point lead, I was really hoping that we'd have our starters out of the game by now, resting up for Friday's date with Covenant Christian. We still could win the game, but it's not going to be as easy as I hoped. However, he does miss the first one. Smith does. Only 3 players have scored so far for the Cougars. Smith misses them both. Walker the rebound. Gives it up to Alderson. So now, come on, let's start padding that lead. Now Alderson hits the driving Benson Walker. He loses control, however. James Duncan comes away with it. However, he loses control, and Hurst gets it, gives it up to Michael Alderson, who brings it up slowly. And Coach McCart for North Putnam covers his face with his hands in disbelief now. And we got a collision there at the other end. 2:36 to go here in the third quarter. So now Duncan with the, Alderson over to Phillips, or to Hurst, to Hurst. Now, Tharp now gives it to a wide open Hurst now. He pitches down to Stevenson near the basket. No good. Fight for the rebound. And it is controlled there by James Duncan. He gives it up to Smith. 2:13 to go. North Putnam with the ball trailing by 10. And we got a collision there between Tharp and Smith with 2:10 to go here. So Du Bois coming back into the game now. So we got Du Bois and Walker both in. So we got the Twin Towers, 6'5" and 6'6". Gross with the ball now. Guarded by Walker. Drives to the basket, puts it up, and he's fouled. And it almost got a chance for a three-point play. Nevertheless, Elliot Gross, who has 6 of his 11 points here in the third quarter, will be going to the line for 2 more. 1:59 to go, and it can bring the margin down to single figures for the first time since about the middle of the first quarter. A little too close for comfort here tonight at Greencastle. Sure didn't look like it was going to be that way in the first half. First one is up and good by Gross. He has 12 to lead the team. Now Western coming in for Walker. Gross hits them both. He has 13. 1:58 to go. Alderson now over to Western. Cascades lost 11 of its 19-point lead. And now we got a near steal there by Walker. It's tipped into the backcourt and nearly, yes, it is saved by Alderson. It is saved by Alderson. 1:41 to go now in the third quarter. Alderson very aggressively guarded, but he comes off a pick by Stevenson, and we got a foul now against Cascade with 1:37 to go in the quarter. Cascade 37, North Putnam 29. .134 to go now. Gross at the other end, drives to the basket, he puts it up, and he hit it, and he's fouled. So now, all of a sudden, the lead's down to 6 with a chance to make it 5. So a real cause for concern now. We've got to get our offense back. We're only 3 points now. We've only scored 3 points here in the third quarter. We've got to do better than that if we're going to close out this game. And, to lose, to be eliminated after leading by 19, that would be a devastating way to go into the offseason as Gross completes the three-point play. .37-32. Elliot Gross with exactly half of his team's points. Cascade now on a 21-7 run, cutting the lead from 19 to 5. Now a three-pointer by Hurst. No good, and we got a foul against Cascade. And now Caleb Green pumps his fist 3 times in triumph. Now gives he slaps 5 with, I guess, his brother, James Duncan. And now Walker coming in for Du Bois. So now the foul is going to be against Du Bois. That is his 4th, and that's a big concern. Not only, even if he doesn't foul out, he's probably not going to be playing very aggressively the rest of the way, and that could really spell trouble for us. So now, Caleb Duncan with his first point of the game right there. Cuts the lead to 4. It'll be a one-possession game if he makes this. We've got to get something going here. He hit them both. And now a steal there by Smith. He drives to the basket, lays it up, he hits it, and it's a 1-point game. Cascade is flirting with disaster here. They led 30-11. Now the lead's down 37-36. And we got a timeout here. Things coming apart at the seams for the Cadets. The only consolation now is that they have the lead. Will they be able to hold a 1-point lead for a little over a quarter with their best player by far having 4 fouls? Very precarious position for the Cadets tonight. Going into this game, I thought there was about a 70% chance Cascade would win. A loss would have been disappointing, but not devastating. But to lose this game after being down by 19, after being up by 19 points would be devastating. So they've got to get something going here. North Putnam came out in the third quarter with a very aggressive defense. Cascade has just not responded well to it. Elliot Gross, realizing this could be his last high school game, started to take matters into his own hands. So Ross Stevenson to inbound the ball for Cascade, 52.3 seconds to go into Alderson. Now down to Walker at the baseline, takes it to the basket, puts it up, no good, and there's a foul against Cascade. And the foul certainly, there have already been, and now that's against Stevenson, that's his third. So now Caleb Green will go into the line with a chance to amazingly give North Putnam the lead. He misses the front end of a 1-and-1, however. But it's a rebound by Gross, who puts it up and in, and South Putnam has the lead. This game turning into this third quarter has been an absolute disaster for Cascade. It looks like they're holding for the last shot. This is not. And now down to Benson Walker, baseline jumper. He hit it. Cascade goes back up. Walker with 6. Good job by Walker. Again, he's going to be the go-to guy for us next season. He's going to be counted on to really step up and, make big contributions. So Trayton Smith now 3 seconds. Gross drives to the basket, puts it up, and no, he charged. He charges. The shot went in, but it won't count because of a charge. So Cascade apparently will go to the fourth quarter with the lead. And now it looks like there's an official timeout here. I'm not sure what the reason for it is. But now Phillips coming in for Alderson. Stevenson to inbound for Cascade. And now a long heave, 3/4 of the court by Phillips, no good. So barn burner of a finish coming at you here in the first tournament game. Cascade leading by the slimmest of margins, 39-38 over North Putnam. The Cadets at one time in this game led by 19. North Putnam came back on a 27-7 run to take the lead by 1 late in the quarter. Benson Walker closed out the quarter scoring, however, with a baseline jumper about 10 feet to put the Cadets back up, and that's where it stands now, 39-38. 8 minutes to play. The winner to play Covenant Christian in the semifinal right here on Friday night. And Cascade hanging on for dear life. Again, I'll tell you, my motivation for Cascade to pull it out here in this fourth quarter is thinking about how miserable that bus trip, the mere 15 miles down US 40, is going to be if you lose this one after leading by 19. Not to mention how awful the long season is going to be. And then for the three seniors, Dalton Du Bois, Michael Alderson, and Chase Western, this is not the way you want to end your high school career. So Cascade does have the ball to start off the fourth quarter. Now just take your time, work for a good shot. Very aggressive defense by the Cougars. Tharp handling the ball, gives it over to Phillips, guarded by Smith. Coming off a pick now by Stevenson. Over to Tharp, fakes the three down to Walker. Baseline jumper, no good. Rebound by Gross. He's taking it down. He's against three Cadets. However, he loses control, and it goes out of bounds to Cascade. So good break for the Cadets. Could have been, another letdown for the Cadets, but, they ended up getting out of it with no harm. 7:30 to go now. They have a 1-point lead here in the fourth quarter. They led by as many as 19, came back to trail by 1. 7:20 to go now. Tharp fakes the pass to Western, then goes to his right. Down to Hurst at the baseline, pitches cross court to a wide open Phillips for three. No good. Rebound Gross. He gives it up to Caleb Duncan, excuse me. Now he pitches over to Gross, who travels. So good break for the Cadets. Both times that the the Cougars have had the ball here in the fourth quarter, Gross made a mistake. He lost the ball out of bounds the first time and then traveled the second time. So now Walker at the baseline, posts up on Gross, it's nearly stripped away, and he's fouled by Caleb Duncan, excuse me, Caleb Duncan. Who is Caleb Green? I'm trying to think. I must have commentated a player named Caleb Green and have a middle block. But it's Caleb Duncan, and there's also a James Duncan on North Putnam. 6:51 to go in the fourth quarter. Cascade leading 39-38. So now Phillips with the ball. Cross court to Hurst. Fakes the three. Out to Stevenson for three. No good. Rebound by Gross. 6:41 to go. Gross scored 13 points in the 13 of his 18 there in the third quarter, spearheading that huge comeback. (39-38), 6:18 to go. No score yet here in the third quarter. Now inside to Gross. Over to Trayton Smith now. Now good ball movement out to Caleb Duncan. No good on a three-pointer from the corner. Phillips the rebound. Brings it up. Pass down court to Hurst. Back to Phillips. Inside to Walker. And he travels. I think maybe he was a little uncertain if he wanted to pass or post up. And keep in mind that Dalton Du Bois, Cascade's best player, who has 19 of our 39 points, just under half of them, has been out since late in the third quarter with 4 fouls. And when he does come back, it'll be interesting to see how his aggressiveness is. If he'll play timidly, afraid of that fourth foul, or if he'll just go all out, realizing this could be his last high school game and wanting to go out with a bang. 5:33 to go here. No scoring yet in the fourth quarter. Elliott Gross at the top of the key. Over to James Duncan. Now to a driving, and Gross lays it in. He has 20 now, game high. And North Putnam, a little over 2.5 minutes into the quarter, regains the lead, 40-39. Well, now we'll see how Cascade responds to adversity. Tharp has the ball. Alderson now. 3. No good. Rebound by Smith. So North Putnam has the lead and the ball. And, looks like they're content to take their time. Cascade in a 2-3 zone. Smith is dribbling. And now Pickle set to check back into the game. Smith still dribbling and having a conversation with Coach McCart now. So now, inside to Caleb Duncan, and he's fouled going for the shot. 4:08 to go. So now the question is, when does Dalton DuBois come back into the game? And now he's coming in now. He's coming in now. And we need him. Boy, do we ever need him. But Caleb Duncan, however, first free throw is good. Pushing the lead back up, pushing the lead to 2. Benson Walker sits down also. Chase Western coming into the game. I believe it's Ross Stevenson who just sat down. So Caleb Duncan hits both of them. It's a 3-point lead for North Putnam. 4:08 to go here in the fourth quarter. 7-11 your time of day. Alderson over to Phillips. Over to DuBois. Now to Alderson. And now Alderson drives to the basket, puts it up, and then there's a foul under the basket. I think they're going to get James Duncan. He made a little contact with DuBois there. And that does put Cascade into the bonus. Now Dalton DuBois, he was 0 of 6 from the line against, and that's the third against James Duncan, by the way, but Dalton DuBois 0 for 6 of the line against Covenant Christian. I think, okay, he hit it. Good job. Boy, did we ever need that. I think he was 0 for 2 tonight prior to that one. So Dalton DuBois clearly does not want this to be his last high school game, especially blowing a 19-point lead. His second free throw, no good. DuBois has 20, tying Gross for the game high. So Cascade trails by 2, 3:48 to go here in the fourth quarter. And now Gross at the other end puts it up, tries to draw contact, and then he gets the rebound and draws contact on the putback. So Elliott Gross will be going to the line, and that does put North Putnam in the double bonus. 3:39 now. 3:39 to go. First free throw is good. Gross now with a game-high 21, and it's a 3-point lead. Second free throw, no good off the back of the rim, but rebound by Pickle, and he puts it up, no good, and rebound there by Western. Good break, for the Cadets that, that the Cougars did not take a 2-possession lead on that trip down court. They had a chance to. So Tharp with the ball now tries to find DuBois on the baseline. He posts up, turns around, no good on the jump shot. Pickle the rebound, 3:14 to go, and the Cougars have the ball and a 3-point lead. Cascade, and now the Cougars take a timeout. Things very tense right now. Boy, this would be absolutely devastating. Clearly, the game now the momentum favors North Putnam. We're within one possession, 3:08 to go, but we've just got to play our A game the rest of the way. After the way we really blew that game to Covenant Christian last week, I was very concerned. Very concerned. I wondered if we would I was concerned it would do one of two things. What I hoped it would do would fire us up and make sure we'd be focused and motivated for the playoffs. But on the other hand, I was afraid that it would break our morale and sink the rest of the season. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. But now is the time to just go all out, and whatever you have left in the tank, just go for the nuclear option right now. I mean, God, don't end up with a game that you're going to regret for the rest of your life, Like I always say, there's nothing wrong with losing, but there's everything wrong with losing for the wrong reasons. And if Cascade loses this game tonight, it will be for all the wrong reasons. So now, double team there as both Tharp and Du Bois were double teaming Caleb Duncan there. It goes out of bounds to North Putnam, 2:49 to go. Come on, boys. Let's do it here. And he travels. Good break for the and Coach McCart just encouraging Caleb Duncan after that travel. But now Cascade has the ball. They can tie with the three. I wouldn't necessarily recommend going for a three unless you've got a great look at it from someone who's a good three-point shooter. But you got to show some urgency. And now a three-pointer by Du Bois. He had it and we're tied. Yes. Now come on. Let's just play some defense, get a stop here. And now Alderson goes for, I couldn't tell from my vantage point because they were, he dove for the ball and it's out of bounds to North Putnam. But the main thing, no foul was called. Alderson was really risking a foul there, but showing how much he wants to win and wants to make sure that this will not be the last game of his career. I wasn't really crazy about the shot Du Bois took. I mean, it was, I think, an NBA distance three, but he hit it, and we're tied. And right now, that's good enough for me. And now a near steal by Alderson. Pickle comes away with it, pitches it into Gross, and I think he was fouled going for the basket. 2:11 to go. I think it's going to be on Phillips, Bryson Phillips. That's his fourth. So now Elliot Gross, a team high 21, will go to the line to try to break the tie. Cascade 43, North Putnam 43, 2:11 to go in the fourth quarter. Elliot Gross, the leading scorer on the season and of the game for North Putnam on the line, and he hits it after 4 or 5 bounces. So North Putnam goes back up by 1. Cascade led by as many as 19, then went on a furious 27-7 run. So Gross hits the second one. He hit them both. He has 23, tying Du Bois for the game lead, 45-43. North Putnam leads now. Alderson over to Tharp for 3. No good. Rebound by Gross. Not crazy about the shot by Tharp. He scored double figures for the last 7 games to close out the regular season, but he is scoreless tonight. And now North Putnam with the ball and a 2-point lead. Now they've pitched it down to James Duncan, misses a wide open shot, but it's put up and in there by Pickle. And now North Putnam has the first 2-possession lead of the game. Pickle with 10 now. 3-pointer by Du Bois, no good. And it's knocked out of bounds to, I could have sworn it went off of Caleb Duncan, but it's out of bounds to North Putnam, 1:31 to go. The Cadets in big trouble now, trailing by 4 as, North Putnam has the ball. Did not like that shot selection by Du Bois. So Caleb Duncan now. And now the thing is with no shot clock, Cascade's really got to show some urgency. And now we've got a collision there. No, we got a timeout there before the collision. North Putnam takes a 30-second timeout with 1:19 to go. So here's the status. 1:19 to go here in the fourth quarter. Your score, North Putnam 47, Cascade 43. North Putnam has the ball, just took a 30-second timeout. Cascade led by as many as 19, blew the lead, and came back to trade leads here in the fourth quarter. Well, it actually took a 1-point lead at the end of the fourth quarter with a few seconds to go, and traded leads here in the fourth quarter. Now trail by 4. Their shots have gone cold. Dalton Du Bois has missed a lot of the second half with foul trouble. He was out for nearly a quarter worth of action with 4 fouls. He's in the game, but foul will put him out. And now on the inbounds pass, Gross is fouled either by. That's going to be on Alderson. I didn't know if it was Alderson or Western. It's Alderson. That's his third. 1:18 to go. North Putnam already in the double bonus. First one is up by Gross. No good off the back of the rim. So Phillips coming in for Hurst now. Second free throw by Gross is good. It's a 5-point lead now. Cascade, 77 seconds left to pull it out to make it 5 points. Long three by Alderson. Air ball and a save attempt. Nice save attempt by Phillips, but it goes out of bounds to North Putnam. Now we got to give him maybe 7 seconds for a foul, and then maybe give 7 seconds for a steal, and then foul immediately. And now Hurst coming in for Phillips. This will be a hard one to live down. And now a steal there by Alderson, puts up a three. No good. Rebound there by Gross. And now pitches down court to driving Smith, who hits it and he lays it in. 7-point lead now, 57.2 seconds to go. So now Cascade very close to being out of this one. Very close to it. The score now 50-43. Ironically, the score that ended our sectional loss to Monrovia last season, a year ago tomorrow at this very gym. And a team that we had beaten during the regular season. North Putnam we beat twice this regular season. Smith no good on the free throw. So we have 54 seconds to make up 7 points now. Tharp with the ball. Coming off a pick by Du Bois. Now over to Phillips, drives to the lane. And now it's stolen. No. Tharp gets it, pitches over to, and now Alderson for three from the corner. He hits it, and we're down to four. The lead's down to 4. 37 seconds to go. And now over to James Duncan. He drives to the basket, puts it in, uncontested, and the lead's back up to 6. 28 seconds to go. So now Du Bois drives to the lane, and he's fouled. 22.6 seconds to go. So 22.6 seconds to go. Cascade will go to the line for two. The foul goes against Davies. It would take a near miracle now, but it still can be done. If Du Bois hits both of these, it'll be down to 4. 22.6 seconds to go, so we'll have to really, if we don't steal the inbounds pass, foul immediately. First free throw by Du Bois, no good off the back of the rim. Now, he almost has to miss this one intentionally and hope for the rebound. He hit it. He has 24 now. And now inside to Gross. They got a foul. What are you waiting for? Okay, they got it. 20.5 seconds to go. So now we're at the mercy of Elliot Gross, the best, the leading scorer on North Putnam with a game high 24 to miss from the line. First one is up and good. Pushing the lead up to 3, and he hits them both. So, down by 7, 18 seconds to go. Tharp with the ball over to Alderson, puts up a 3. He hit it, Cuts the lead to 4, but only 11.4 seconds to go. Probably too little, too late. Still not quite out of it yet. The Cadets take a quick timeout. So, when we return to play, the score will be North Putnam 54, Cascade 50 with 11.4 seconds left. Cascade led by as many as 19 before an epic collapse in the third quarter. And now the Cadets trying to pull out an improbable comeback, still with a very slight chance. They need to get a quick steal on this inbounds pass. If not, they're going to have to foul immediately. So Trayton Smith to be inbounding the ball. He pitches it, and now it's stolen by Alderson, puts up a 3. He hit it, we're down, it's down to 1. 8 seconds to go, we're still in it. And now pitch down court, and we got a collision here. Let's see what the call is, 3.6 seconds to go. But we're still in it by a miracle. That's it on Hurst, it's going to be his third. So, North Putnam will be going to the line, but the important thing is even if they hit both of them, we can tie with the 3. 3 3-pointers by Michael Alderson here in the final seconds. The last one coming on a steal. Valiant effort by the Cadets. Trayton Smith at the line. His first free throw is good. So it's a 2-point game. Nevertheless, now, Cascade, whatever happens, Cascade will have a chance to at least tie. Du Bois, Western, Alderson, Phillips, and Tharp are in the game now for the Cadets. Second free throw by Smith is up. No good. Rebound by Alderson. Brings it down. 2 seconds. 1. 3-pointer. No good. No good. Cascade loses. And Alderson is devastated. He's down on the floor. He's getting some words of consolation now from Trayton Smith. Alderson devastated. He hit 3 3-pointers in the final seconds to give us a chance, but his last shot goes awry. Great effort, though, but devastating loss for the Cadets. The game they lost after leading by 19 in the second quarter. My heart breaks for these poor kids, and I really wanted this for them. I knew the chance, being in the same sectional with Jalen Moore's Cloverdale team, I knew there wasn't much chance of us winning the sectional, but I at least wanted us to get a couple of tournament wins. So Michael Alderson, a heroic effort there at the end. Nearly was the hero. Last shot was from about 30 feet. It was slightly makeable, but, no shame that he missed it. But how devastating that Cascade lost after leading by 19. That's what really hurts right now. So anyway, in conclusion, Cascade finishes the season with a record of 10-13, and making it even worse is that, both this season and last season, the boys and the girls' seasons ended with a tournament loss to a team that they had beaten during the regular season. Now, granted, Cascade, the Lady Cadets had also, they had played 2 games against South Putnam, lost, they did lose one of them, but the thing is, to lose to a team that you're capable of beating, that you have beaten, it's tough, and especially when you blow a big lead like that. But anyway, Cascade came out, brought their A game, almost their A-plus game in the first half, led by as many as 19. They maintained they got a double-figure lead around the middle of the first quarter, held it throughout the first half. It was 34-21 at the half. Then in the third quarter, Elliot Gross really started taking the game over. He only had 5 points in the first half after averaging 16 on the season. He scored 13 in the third quarter as South Putnam went on a 27-7 lead spanning the second and third quarters to take the lead. Benson Walker did hit a jumper in the final seconds of the third quarter to give us a 38 to 39 lead at the end of three. And the fourth quarter, we traded leads before South Putnam started to pull away. Finally, Cascade suddenly got hot with a barrage of three-pointers by Michael Alderson, including two about 3 seconds apart. One, he hit one with about 11 seconds left, then stole the inbounds pass and hit the other about 3 seconds later, almost, a reminiscent of Reggie Miller. Then a quick foul resulted in Trayton Smith making one of two shots, and then appropriately Alderson was given the last shot, put it up from about 30 feet, and it fell just short. And Cascade eliminated from the tournament by South Putnam. And really, the story of this game was really the story of Cascade all season, which is simply not enough offense outside of Dalton DuBois. Dalton had a banner senior season. He should be playing college ball for a Division II, maybe Division III school next year. But there was not another player who averaged double figures for the Cadets. And, and then in the second half, Cascade just looked like they were completely unprepared for the defensive blitz that was put on them by North Putnam. The Cougars played far better in the second half than the first. Obviously, Coach McCart for North Putnam made some adjustments and really got the guy to come out swinging in the second half, and Cascade just didn't make any adjustments to prepare for it. And they turned the ball over a lot, and North Putnam started to hit, especially Elliot Gross, who suddenly realized that this might be his last high school game, and he turned it on. And, like I said, 13 points in that in that third quarter, which really was the pivotal time of this game. And, it's ironic that the last 2 seasons, I've commentated two of the biggest Cascade girls comebacks. Last season, they were down in the second quarter, 39-19 at Avon, came back to win 64-61, so that's a 23-point turnaround. Then this year, they were down by 30-12 in the second quarter at Cloverdale, came back to win by 6 in double overtime, so that's a 24-point turnaround. And tonight, and in both of those games, I just went totally crazy. Tonight, I found out how it feels to be on the other side of that, as Cascade was up by 19, ends up losing by 2. That's a 21-point turnaround, and, it feels bad. And even worse, the two Cascade wins, as sweet as they were, the two girls' comeback wins were in the regular season. This one is in the playoffs, so, we're out of it because we lost a 19-point lead, and there's no way to whitewash it. That one hurts. And really, in a way, it's tragically appropriate because so many of the things that Cascade struggled with all season really ended up doing them in tonight. Lack of offense and just, overall breakdowns in play. So, certainly, but before I start talking about next season, let's look at the individual scoring. First of all, for Cascade, Dalton DuBois playing his final high school game, one of the few 1,000-point scorers in Cascade history. He mostly went out in style, scoring 24 points. Michael Alderson, another senior playing his last high school game, goes out with 16. And Chase Western, third on the team in scoring with 7 tonight. So the three seniors all scored above their average tonight and were the team's 3 leading scorers, combining for 47 points. We only had one other player who scored, however, Benson Walker, who had 6, and he's going to be one of our top returners going into next season. Meanwhile, for the victorious Cloverdale, North Putnam Cougars, Elliot Gross led the way with 26 points, 21 of them coming in the second half, 13 of them coming in the third quarter. And then, in addition, James Duncan had 10. Andrew Pickle had 10. Trayton Smith had 5. And Caleb Duncan had 4. So, looking ahead to next season, Cascade, like the girls' team, the boy cadets are going to enter the 2018-29 season with a lot of question marks, not quite as many as the girls, who lose 4 of 5 starters, 3 of whom are likely to play college ball, but also return really only 2 girls with a whole lot of varsity experience, Carly Gibbs and Taylor Norris. The boys, they do lose 3 starters, including their best player and their starting point guard, but they're not, and they return at least 4 guys who played in every game, or at least almost every game this season. The leading returning scorer is going to be Mason Tharp. He's a sophomore now, so he's got 2 years left. Only 6 feet tall. How much he grows is going to be a big factor determining what he does the rest of the way. But he did average, even though he was scoreless tonight, he did score double figures in 4 of the last 7 regular season games, including 16 in that big upset road win at Western Boone. So that young man, obviously, he's going to be the main outside threat. At least it looks like he will be going into next season. Then we've got Benson Walker, who 6'6", the tallest player on the team. If he grows a few more inches, all the better. He averaged about 4.5 points and 3.5 rebounds this year. Obviously, he's going to get a lot more opportunities with Dalton DuBois being gone. So if Walker, who doesn't have quite the natural ability that DuBois does, but if Walker at least establishes himself as, say, a 10.8 rebound, 2 block a game guy, he will be a very strong presence inside and command enough attention that that Tharp should get a lot of opportunities outside. And certainly at 6'6", Walker, even if he has only an average senior season, he's still going to be very marketable to colleges. So certainly he's got a lot to play for next season. And then, in addition, Bryson Phillips, who's a 5'9" junior, started to get regular minutes in the last half of the regular season, had a few nice moments. It would be great if he could grow at least up to 6 feet, but nevertheless, he did play at times like he's ready to at least fill the spot that Michael Alderson had this season. Justin Hurst, another undersized guard, a 5'8" junior. He'll be back for his senior season. He should get a lot of at least backup minutes at point guard. And again, if he grows some more inches, all the better. Ross Stevenson, at 5'11", really plays like a power forward. Not a big statistical guy, but he is a good plugger who goes in and does a lot of the dirty work inside. And again, hopefully he'll grow a few more inches too. Size is a problem with us, which is why we're really going to, especially if none of these guys grow a lot, we're going to need Walker to really step up his game and really be strong for us next season on the inside. But Stevenson, has done a lot of good things with us the last couple of years, and certainly we'll be looking for a banner senior season from him as well. And other than that, we really don't, Dane DuBois, I assume Dalton's younger brother and the coach's other son, a 6-foot senior. Didn't play much varsity ball this year, but certainly, knowing what's in his gene pool, we'll be looking to see how much he's going to improve from this season to next. And certainly I wouldn't count out him making a significant contribution and getting a lot of minutes for the varsity next season. Again, 3 years to grow and mature. And then Cole Spencer and Steven Alderson, the 2 freshmen who played a little varsity ball this year. Again, we're going to be watching their progress a lot. Spencer at 5'9", Alderson at 5'10". So, and then Zach Carroll, who's going to be back for 2 more years. He'll be a junior next season. 6'1", didn't play much this season, but with Western, Alderson, and DuBois being gone, Carroll should get a lot of minutes next season. So, in short, next season, most likely, not definitely. I mean, I've been watching basketball for 40 years now, and I know that players can explode unexpectedly. You can have somebody who doesn't look very good, and then all of a sudden in one season become a big star. That could happen. Right now, however, it looks like next season is going to be a rebuilding season for us. It looks like, I would guess it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of a 7-win season. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's more than that. But my point is, as with the girls, who I also expect are going to win about 7 games next year, I think both the boys and girls, I look for them to be rebuilding next year, win about 7 games, and then move back and have winning seasons the season after that, when a lot of their best players are going to be seniors. So hang in there, go to the games, even if the kids have a losing season. Hang in there, go to the games, give them all your support. Let them know you believe in them and that you're pulling for them as they continue to move up the ladder. Cascade is a great Cascade has one of the best athletic departments of schools of its size in the state. One thing it's important to remember when you have a school under 500 students, when you got Ben Davis and you got 4,500 students, you're going to have great talent every year. When you're a school with 480 students like Cascade, you're going to have a year now and then where it's an off year where you just don't get much talent. And you just got to work through those seasons and, use them to develop your younger guys and make them better. And that does happen a lot of the time. So in closing, there are a lot of reasons to look ahead to next season, believing that it's going to be good for the kids. I like a next season for boys and girls basketball to this school. The last season in Cascade football, where we most of our best players were non-seniors, so they're going to take their lumps, but learn and grow a lot from it, and then come back strong in a year or two. So, Cascade basketball will be back. We probably will not win any sectionals next season in basketball, boys or girls, but 2 years from now, we're going to have a shot at it. And, next year we just have to keep working and using it as an opportunity to develop those kids. I remember Lenny Wilkins back in 1986 when he took over the Cleveland Cavaliers. He said about 1 million times, which is not much exaggeration, that their youth was their greatest asset and their greatest liability. And, what he meant, they lost a lot of games that season because of their youth, but the experience those young guys got made them better. And then over the next 4 or 5 years, they had the best success in team history and would remain so until the LeBron James era. So the Cadets next year, their youth might be their greatest asset and their greatest liability, but think a lot more about the asset part, because that's what's going to pay off down the stretch as we look to the future. And, we should have very good season. The 2019-2020 season should be very good for Cascade basketball, and what we're doing now should set up a bright future for the program, and not only in basketball but in all sports for many years to come. Well, darn it, this is the day that I dread every year, when I know that I'm not going to be commentating basketball for another 8 or 9 months, and I'm going to miss it like crazy. And it looks like we are going to be doing a few baseball and softball broadcasts out at Cascade starting in about 5-6 weeks. I'm immensely looking forward to those. I never get tired of that trip up and down US 40, down to Cascade, and commentating all those exciting Cadets athletic events. I don't care what sport it is. I just love Cascade. I love the community of Clayton. I love the Cadets, the players, the parents, the administration, everything. It's my second home, and hope to make that trip out there a few hundred, maybe a few thousand more times over the next several decades. Hopefully, I'm 47 now. I hope to at least do it till 89 so I can outlast Vince Scully, who commentated until 88. And just want you to know that I love all of you and your community, and I've gotten to meet many of you this season, and I almost feel like a local celebrity out there when I'm at Cascade, and it's really rewarding to me when people, especially who are related to the cadets, come up to me and tell me they enjoy listening to my broadcasts, and that it enables them to listen to their loved ones play or coach when they're not able to make it to the games. And, in this crazy world, you all are a community and a school that does things the right way. And, I'm proud to be your commentator. And as long as you'll keep having me, I'll keep doing it. And hope to be with you all for many wins, many championships, and a lot of great times along the way. And any bad times that come ahead, like tonight, then I'll stick it out with you all and look ahead to better times, because there will be a lot of better times. But at this time, I just want to give the last words of this broadcast to the three seniors, the three cadets who just played their last game, Dalton DuBois, Michael Alderson, and Chase Western, as well as Dylan Compliment, who was a senior, who played a lot of the season, did not finish the season with the team. But those four young men spent literally about half their lives as Cascade Cadets. When you go back to starting, in youth basketball in second or third grade, they spent thousands of hours of blood, sweat, and tears, and probably several injuries. About half of their lives up to this point, and you can only imagine how long that seems, to them. So, to those four men, once again, Dalton DuBois, Michael Alderson, Chase Western, and Dylan Compliment, thank you for all you did for Cascade basketball. We love you. We will miss you. And you will always be cadets in our hearts. Well, this concludes our broadcast. As always, thank you so much for listening, and I cordially invite you to do so again in November as we tip off another exciting season of Cascade Cadets basketball here on audiosportsonline.com. Until then, this is Lec Zorn reminding you there is a difference only you can make.